This is a story that has haunted York locals for years. Whispered in pubs and passed down by generations, it's about a spirit known as the Grey Lady, said to haunt Micklegate Bar, one of the ancient gatehouses in York, dating back to medieval times. Known for its eerie history, Micklegate Bar has seen countless lives come and go, and it's where people claim to have encountered something truly unsettling, a ghostly woman in grey. In the late 1970s, a man named Tom Riley, who worked as a night watchman for the city council, was assigned to patrol Micklegate Bar. Tom was a skeptic, practical-minded and proud of it. He didn't believe in ghosts, dismissing York's ghost stories as mere tourist tales, but his experience at Micklegate would make him think differently. It started on an unusually cold night in February, when Tom was doing his rounds. The street was quiet, the usual hum of the city almost muted in the early morning fog. As he made his way through Micklegate Bar, he heard footsteps echoing behind him, slow and deliberate. Turning around, he found the passage empty, but the sound continued, growing louder as if someone was walking just out of sight. Suddenly, the air grew ice cold, so bitter that he could see his breath. He continued down the corridor, his heart pounding, trying to convince himself it was his mind playing tricks. But as he passed an old stone archway, he saw her. A woman dressed in a long grey gown, her figure faintly transparent in the dim light. She looked like she belonged to another time. Her dress tattered, her face pale and solemn. Tom froze, unable to look away. The woman turned her head slowly and her eyes met his. They were empty, dark, as if they held nothing but shadows. He wanted to scream or run, but he couldn't move. The woman held his gaze for what felt like an eternity before she glided soundlessly through the archway and disappeared into the wall. Shaken to the core, Tom didn't tell anyone at first, but the sightings didn't stop. Every few nights he would hear the same footsteps following him through the corridor, always stopping just as he approached the stone archway. He saw her again a few weeks later, standing in the exact same spot, her mournful eyes watching him, almost pleading. Finally, he shared his experience with a local historian who wasn't surprised. The historian told him that the Grey Lady had been sighted by many people over the centuries. According to legend, she was once a nun who had lived nearby. Rumour had it that she'd fallen in love with a man and tried to leave her convent, only to be caught and sentenced to death. Heartbroken, she'd returned as a spirit, forever trapped within the walls of Micklegate Bar. Tom quit his job soon after, unable to bear the thought of seeing her again. Locals still report sightings of the Grey Lady on cold, misty nights, when the streets of York are at their quietest. Those who have seen her say she appears briefly, watching from the shadows before fading back into the stone, always with that same empty gaze, a lingering sorrow that has haunted Micklegate Bar for hundreds of years.